This year, Meeple on Board Vanguard has been very kind to sponsor us to be here at their booth so we can record dozens of interviews with even more games. So this is going to be an absolutely fantastic show. Welcome to So Play Wheel at Spiel 2024. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, and anyone in between, this is a completely new thing for me at Spiel. Before we start, Osprey Games is a very well-established company that does both war games and role-playing games. And with me I have Dave Neal, who has co-designed War Story Occupied France. Dave, welcome.
Hello.
It's good to have you around.
Thanks.
Now, this is a completely different interview because I have never done an designer's unboxing on camera. And for the record, you haven't really seen this game before.
No, I haven't opened. I was just given this copy, and I've been sent some copies, but I haven't been at my house to collect them yet, so I haven't yet actually opened any of my own copies of it.
So
yet.
you don't know what's inside or what it looks
No.
like?
I know, well, I've seen pictures of it, and I've seen bits of it, but not the whole. No,
okay.
Not opened a copy
So
yet.
This is the authentic experience of
just
finding out what's in there.
Yeah.
Please, it's your game, go for it. Tell me a little bit while we open
as
it,
I
what's it
go,
about?
I can,
Yes.
I mean, yes, I think, I really like the way it's ended up looking. I think the cover art is great. It's by Morette, and it's kind of an espionage. It's a World War II sort of espionage spy game, but also with tactics, warfare. I know David Thompson has done like Undaunted and a lot of these kind of war games, and so we decided to combine his stuff with the kind of stuff I've done in the past, which is very narrative-driven, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, some of the Unlock Escape Room games, and kind of combined those ideas together, and we created this.
Okay.
Yes, it's quite heavy too.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of
a lot of things inside, doesn't it?
It's got a lot of things inside. The rule book.
Yeah.
There aren't actually that many rules, but it's fairly
What does it
simple,
look like
really.
inside? Let's look at the design and see what they've done with it. Okay.
Yeah, nicely laid out.
Very cool. Yeah, very clean. Very good typography.
There's redacted sections in the kind of spy theme. They've taken bits and redacted parts to explain certain rules, which I think is nice.
That's very cool. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have the mission books, which are kind of the main thing of the game. This is the stuff for mission 1, and these are like choose your own adventure type books. The layout is very nice.
We're not going to show too much about these because spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, but
mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, which is the thickest, heftiest. They're the 3 missions.
Each one of the books is one mission, or are there different mini missions inside?
Each book is one mission, but each mission has multiple different ways to play through it.
Okay.
And so it's very replayable as a game for narrative games as they go. This is very replayable. You can definitely play at least the whole thing at least twice and have a very different experience each time, and you can easily play 3 or more times, play beyond that and still have, I mean, me and David can actually play it, and we don't always know how to win or what the right choices are. So as we can do that and we designed it, then anyone that,
You're safe.
And then these are team sheets which are used for tracking things while you play. So you decide on some agents to go on missions, so they'll be in here. I'll show you those cards. We have some tokens. Very nice tokens you punch out. Some cars that come into it later, vehicles that come into the game later. Some top secret envelopes.
Ooh.
Looking very nice. These have the mission information in them.
Okay. So one per mission,
One
I
per
guess.
mission.
Yeah.
The mysterious envelope X, which simply says don't open until instructed.
Okay.
I know what's inside, but I won't say.
No, please don't.
And then we have the sort of these cubes and pawns that are used for different things in the game. And then the cards, so these are the standard cards.
I like that they have been wrapped with paper rather than plastic.
Right, yeah.
Because it makes it A, more environmentally friendly, and B, a lot easier to take out. We don't have to be fighting.
Yes, yeah, the fighting with the plastic
shrink
things.
wrap, yeah.
So these are like, this is the deck that's sort of the main story. These are the story-driven cards. These are a whole mix of things, locations you can visit, things, people you might encounter, information you might find, riddles, whatever, are kind of in that deck. There's a lot of secret stuff in that one. This is equipment that you can find and use. Some of it you have at the start, so I'll show that. And then these are the agents that you start with the game with. There are 8 of them. And they all have different attributes, they have skills, and they have firearms abilities. And so when you go on a mission, you're choosing 4 of these to go on one of the missions, and the other 4 you're leaving aside for that mission. And then you will take the book for the mission, and you'll start playing through the mission. On the sheet here, you write down the names of the agents you're taking.
Okay.
And then at the end, you can write down whether they've survived or whether they've been killed. Dying is relatively common. Okay. This is quite a brutal game. We deliberately made it so. We were like, well, it's about war. It should feel like it's about war. Yeah. It's quite possible to fail the missions. It's quite possible. Sometimes your whole team can die. So yeah, it is brutal. You'll make decisions and then you'll regret them sometimes, and bad things will happen. And then what else we have? Then we have the equipment cards. These ones are well rods. These you start with. You can see these here. They are. This is one of the guns that was actually used by this. You play as the Special Operations Executive, who were a real spy group in World War II working for the British government and were undercover in occupied France. And these were one of the real guns they used, which is one of the few almost actually silent guns ever made, was this. And they use those. And you also, there's a sniper rifle that you also start the game with. And then there's some other things you can find which are in this deck. And these have slightly different effects in the game based on these symbols which come into play when you're playing it. And then you also use tokens to manipulate like what happens and how the game works. So yeah, I think it's all looking amazing. I like what they've done with the envelopes and everything and the top secret things, and it has a very nice feel to it.
Are you happy with the production then?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's great. Completely.
I can tell that you're finding it difficult to stop looking at it. You're pleased.
Yeah, it's definitely. I kind of want to play it myself. Because it's like it's been quite a long time since I actually played it. You know, when I was testing it and playing it, and when I play it now, there's other things I won't remember, and it'll be interesting to see how well I can do actually.
How long were you designing the game?
I think it was 4 years, or maybe a bit longer. I'm trying to remember when. Yeah, something like that. From me and David first coming up with the concept of some kind of narrative-driven war game. And I remember we talked about different ways of doing it for quite a while, and sort of it gradually honed in on sort of one idea, which became this slowly. But we had a lot of interesting decisions to make along the way. I think quite early on we were talking about like whether it was going to use sort of dice or a card deck or anything, but we decided in the end we went away from that, so there's nothing random in the game whatsoever. Okay. Everything is entirely deterministic. It's all based on the player's decisions entirely.
That sounds pretty cool. Historically, how accurate is it?
Historically it captures like I think the feel and the essence of this kind of time period. Okay. But we went with fictionalized places. Okay. Because for the story we had in mind, there were particular kinds of places we wanted, and so finding certain places that matched exactly what we wanted for the story would have been almost impossible. So we decided in the end it was best to go with like a fictionalized place, but sort of capture the essence and the atmosphere and the feel of what was the reality at the time, rather than going for like specific exact sort of historical accuracy. But there's some accuracy in terms of like we chose a real organization, the Special Operations Executive. We like I said, the weapons reflect real weapons at the time, and then the story is a lot around the Maquis, the resistance fighters in France at the time. And I think Osprey, there's some information in here too about some of that's the top secret bit. About the real history. We have some information about the real history it's based on here at the beginning of the book, which Osprey also added in, and I think David might have done some of too, because he knows a lot about that history. So yeah,
that sounds pretty amazing. What's the availability of the game? Is it already on sale or is it coming out soon?
It's available, limited copies here at Spiel,
Yep.
but it's released fully in just a few days, on the 8th, I think it is. So almost straight after Spiel, it's basically available.
Is it going to be UK, US, Europe? What's the distribution like going to be?
I think so, yeah. It definitely, yes. It's US and Europe, I think, and maybe beyond. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But it's currently only in English.
Yeah.
But I know there are plans for other languages. I don't know exactly which ones yet, but I know there's interest for translations. Obviously, because the amount of text, it's got a lot of text as these books, so that takes a bit of time. But there will be other language versions coming, I think.
Very, very much looking forward to that. I have to say, as unboxings go, sir, you're a professional. Well done. You know how to unbox your game. That's brilliant. And this looks super, super exciting. And it looks absolutely lovely. So many, many congratulations. I hope that this is going to do incredibly well. You, though, don't go away because we are coming back with more interviews and more games very, very soon.